Drill instructors and drill sergeants of Reddit. What's the funniest thing you've seen a recruit do that you couldn't laugh at? Had two guys get in a fight in our bay during basic. Drill sergeant made them hold hands and pretending to be on a date all week. Only time they could let go of each other's hands was rack time. They ended up becoming pretty good friends. USAF. TI. Are you finished yet? Trainee done. No, sir, I'm done. TI walks away to avoid laughing. On the topic of names, there are lots of things that are unfortunate to be called when your rank is seaman, due to how it sounds out loud. I'm glad no one ever connected my last name to it. We had some poor souls, such as Seaman Swallows. Poor girl. Also had a guy with the last name Tits, and he was going for the rate of IC, so his name was IC Tits. Then he reached rank 2 and was IC2 Tits. In my basic training class I was a squad leader, which is essentially just a person who does extra chores. Anyways, for reasons unknown, myself and the other squad leaders were doing push-ups in the drill sergeant's office. Now when you do these push-ups you eventually reach muscle failure, so you just sorta hang out there in the front leaning rest and try to bust out another push-up every few seconds or so. We're all in there dying and the drill sergeant says to one of my buddies, "Private Hudson, tell me what's the difference between basic training and being in prison?" Without missing a beat, Private Hudson says, "Drill sergeant, in prison they get to watch TV." The drill sergeant cracked a little bit of a smile and then told us to get up and get out of there. Boot camp. MCRD San Diego. Had a kid with glasses. Very young. Did not look like marine material. He kept glancing up at airplanes overhead during drill. DI noticed and asked him what he was looking at. Kid replies, "Airplanes, drill instructor." DI says, "Those planes are trying to invade, and only you can stop them. I want to hear you war cry at every plane until it leaves this depot." Remainder of Phase I of boot camp consisted of this kid screaming at every plane overhead. Hilarity ensued. We had this kid who kept pissing himself. One day, after the range, he informs RDI that he had shit himself right after showers. Squad base starts to hold back laughter. DI, "It's not funny." Awkward silence. DI, "Okay, it's a little funny, but we aren't laughing." Man never cracked a smile during the whole thing. What I want to know is, why did the dude keep pissing himself? Holding it too long, a bit soft in the noggin. I doubt that information was ever given. I just thought I'd be a curious cretin and ask. What's that disgusting crap all over your glasses? Maggot. I believe it's your saliva. Drill sergeant, "Sir." Close his eyes and waits for death. "Oh, he dead." Drill sergeant, "Sir, he very dead." Buddy of mine told a story when he was at basic. One guy had said, "Yes ma'am," to the female DS earlier in the day, so when they were all lined up, she was going down the line, asking each person if they called her ma'am earlier. The guy who did was fourth in line, heard the three previous guys say, "No, drill sergeant," and then said in all seriousness, "No ma'am." I overheard her, "Yes, petty officer, yes, petty officer, yes, petty officer." Okie dokie. Petty officer had to make a quick about face and flee before he busted up laughing. It was fantastic. What I'm getting from this thread is that military training is like joining a non-consensual improv troupe. Not only that, but you get to shoot guns and see the world while getting paid. Can't beat that. I knew a guy that was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. He said it was a beautiful country. Not many comments here, so I'll add my bit. One recruit left his training guide just lying on his rack. My lead RDC decided this was punishable by making the recruit stand in the middle of our berthing, hold the training guide in the left hand, salute it with the right hand, and then bring it in and gently whisper, "I love you, training guide. I'm sorry I left you out. I'll never leave you lying around again." That shit was hilarious, especially because we were all put at attention while he did it for about 45 minutes. First 5 minutes would have been gold. After that, just boredom. Trust me, doing training and hearing a man whisper, "I love you," in the background would make anyone laugh. That stayed funny. Not a drill sergeant, but when I was in basic I saw 3 drill sergeants surrounding a private who was laying down, and they were all screaming, "Go the fuck to sleep right now, private. You take a goddamn nap this very second, you poor tired soul." Not exact words, but you get the gist of it. I still wonder how he got himself into that predicament. Caught sleeping. Can guarantee, better than chanting, "Stay awake, stay alive." for a couple hours. Had a soldier one time stop doing mountain climbers while we were being smoked as a platoon. DS came up and squatted down, yelling in his face why he stopped. Recruit yelled back, "This soldier has made it to the top of the mountain, drill sergeant." Dude just walked away trying not to break with laughter. What does being smoked mean? Edit. Thanks for all the replies. I have a lot of respect for you guys. It means someone messed up and now the entire group has to pay for it with exercise until the drill sergeant gets tired. During FTX, the DS told me to get a trash bag, then go around and collect as many pine cones as I could, for like 3 hours. Had a bunch of trash bags. He then took a little walk around, contemplated for a bit, then said that he was mistaken and it looks better with pine cones. He ordered me to redistribute all the pine cones. One guy had a leaf on his ruck after an FTX and got the company smoked for stealing private property from federal lands. Everyone was laughing a bit, even the DS. Not me, but I had a great team SGT who had a floater, wonky eye, that he was blind in from an injury in Iraq. So one eye was dead on and worked fine, but he had this one Uncle Ruckus eye that just did its own thing. He was a very physically imposing man with that classic drill SGT bass-filled voice, and his crazy eye just added to it and he knew it. He told a story about his time as a drill SGT when two privates had sat down on Firewatch and were kinda just being real lackadaisical about their duties when he found them. So he starts just giving them the business classic Full Metal Jacket style, and finally he just ending his rant right before he's about to smoke them for who knows how long, when one of the offending privates just says, "Drill SGT, are you yelling at us or the water fountain?" It stopped him dead in his rage and he just walked away mid-knife hand. That could have gone very badly. A risky move that paid off. Had two guys laugh when RDC walked in, so he had them stand almost noses touching each other. One would yell, "Want to hear a joke?" and the other would yell, "Ha ha ha," repeatedly for hours. It was hilarious at first, but once their voices started to crackle it got old pretty quick. Story from my wife while she was in BCT. They are eating chow one day early on, maybe first or second day out of reception, and they hear a drill instructor yelling, "Why the fuck are you eating salad with a spoon?" Apparently, in reception they had been told not to bother with forks since they had 5 minutes to eat their meals. Dude wanted a salad. He decided, "Fuck it, I'm eating salad with a spoon." Hilarity ensued. Drill instructors let everyone know that not using forks is a dumb fucking rule, and whoever told them that is fucking stupid. We had two 5'1" stocky blonde guys named Johnson in our company one cycle. Different platoons. No relation at all, but they look really similar. One day during grass week a couple J-hats made them face each other and go back and forth screaming, "You're not Johnson. I'm Johnson. No. Fuck you. You're not Johnson. I'm Johnson." You have absolutely no clue how hard it was to not break into a million pieces after about 5 minutes of that. During basic, the standard for clearing the range was to point your M16A2 rifle up and down range, and the DS would then clear each rifle with a brass rod. Upon completion, each recruit said, "No brass, no ammo, drill sergeant." One soldier fucked up and said, "No ass, no brammo." Our DS stopped, sat down, laughed, got up and forced everyone to push until he was done clearing each platoon's rifles. Not in boot camp but in a school setting in the military. In formation one morning, I heard a slap and a guy killed a fly or a mosquito or something. The instructor started screaming that corpsmen do not kill unless defending themselves. They're Marines or patients. He had just killed an unarmed friendly and will give it a proper burial. So he made us all dig a human-sized grave while the sailor that killed the fly stood there watching with dead fly in hand. We gave it a funeral and everything, without honors, and had to fill in the hole. We kinda hated that guy for a while. Unarmed friendly, fuck that. If it was a mosquito, it was armed and presumed hostile. Presumed. That sick fuck had probably been committing atrocities worthy of a council for the Geneva Convention. An RDC in another division asked a guy if he shaved that morning and the guy claimed he had. The RDC said, "Recruit, you are either a werewolf or you are lying. So which is it?" The guy responded, "I must be a werewolf, petty officer." I work at basic training ranges and we had a drill SGT yell at his soldier while they were getting ready to go down a buddy live fire exercise. The soldier froze and started crying. This 18-year-old kid was just in tears for getting yelled at. The DS yelled at him some more and he finally gave up cause this kid wouldn't stop crying. So he made him scoop tears off his face and put them in his pockets till he filled his pockets up with tears. He did this for like an hour. It was hilarious. Clarify this for me. Are you telling me this young man cried for an hour straight? When I was in boot camp, our drill instructor had a recruit sit in front of his own reflection, stainless steel panel, and continually asked himself if he really wanted to be here for 3 fucking hours, all while screaming at him to mean it, and I don't believe you. I don't know how they didn't crack up. Was hilarious. One of my green belts had a recruit stand in the head in front of the mirror and point to his reflection and say, "I'm not crazy," then point to himself and say, "You're crazy." It went on for 45 minutes or so until our senior came in and put a stop to it. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to Comment Awards and like the video. PG! On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, 1 lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.